morning, Trail and Summit. My name's Andrew, and this is my Ram ProMaster. So, just got the gas stove from Dometic, as well as oven. Pretty messy in there. Countertops on both sides, cut out for the sink here. The fridge, also Dometic 95 dual zone. So I pretty much have both of them on refrigerator most of the time, but if you need, you can put one on the freezer. Tons of storage here, just a little stuff for utensils here. When I lived in it, I did a lot of cooking here, so I made sure that I had a pretty decent spice rack in here. Down here we just got some big storage areas for pots, pans, whatever you're gonna need. I have a TV, I usually connect it to the Roku, and then there's also one of those cheap antennas in the back to pick up random videos. So they got the Zamp charge controller here. Dual zone lighting for the front and back. I got 4 lights in the back and I got 4 lights in the front, so I can just dim them down how I see fit, as well as the front. Here is where we're gonna have water and lights, so I can do single light here, or on the other side, turn around here, I can turn this light on and have all the lights on, so I can only have, 1 or 2 lights on at a time. And then this also controls my water pump, turning my water pump on and off. So it controls the water. Water comes from this 16-gallon plastic tank. I used to brew beer, and I figured, like, what's a better way to hold water than something that should be holding beer for long periods of time. Doesn't give off any plastic taste, which I really enjoy. So 16-gallon water tank. I usually have a 5-gallon one of those blue bottles, and I'll just get that filled up at like Natural Grocers, and I'll just top this off if it ever gets low. So I kind of carry around 21 gallons of fresh water. Used to have a filter in there. It's becoming wintertime now. Took the filter out so that it doesn't freeze. And then the gray water goes down through the bottom of the vehicle, and I can show you where it goes from there. It's running from underneath the sink over there to this tank here. Tank just has a little nozzle I can turn on and off. Tend to keep it off, and then if you ever need to empty it, you can just turn it on. And this holds about 6 gallons total. One last thing I'd like to mention is in the back I actually have a separate 5-gallon container, and I'll just kind of uninstall some of these pipes here during the winter time and make it so that the gray water drains directly into the 5-gallon tank that's inside the vehicle to stop all the lines from underneath freezing. We talked about the water system. Now for my dishes, I have a drying rack that I like to put my dishes in. This is one way to get to it, or you can come through the side here. So the van is completely insulated with sheep wool everywhere. On the sides it's probably about 5 inches roof, about 2 inches. Got a little backsplash here for my water, just to kind of keep the wood from rotting if it were to get water on it. The paint is Ecos paint, so it's low VOCs, kind of like a low toxic paint, and I kind of went with that because I knew I was spending a lot of time here living in here, and what I wanted is just kind of like, fresher air, I guess. Something that I felt comfortable breathing. Everything also is kind of trimmed out with this blue here. I got the trim blue around the sink. All of my doors are also completely covered, and everything has blue trim, as well as the doors in the very back. So moving on from the sink, here's my little trash can that I like to use. And then kind of moving into the dining room, living room area. Each seat swivels 360, and I got the Lagoon table here. Kind of allows me to move whatever I want. If it's just me in here by myself, it's pretty nice just to be able to chill on that seat, have a table, watch TV, do any type of cooking that I have. Also, down here, I ended up building a bunch of storage down here. I really didn't like the metal lip and just kind of going against it. So this is all kind of solid storage that you can just get really in there with. And then this is how the Lagoon is attached. So I can just slide that out, put that up here, and it's completely put away. I'm sure everybody knows how this thing works. And then obviously more space over here this is where I'd be putting all of my shoes and stuff. Originally, my next plan was underneath here. I wanted to put carpet and just kind of drill it into the back and be able to roll my carpet all the way down the hall. And then when I, want to use shoes in here or whatever, I can just roll it up, tuck it away nicely. Just haven't gotten around to that. So on this side of the van, this is where I hang my shirts, and kind of you put whatever you want down here. I really wanted a lot of storage, so what I ended up doing was building this pretty much giant wall of storage, and this is how I kind of keep them locked. So this is just a child lock, and on the outside of here I have green and red, and this is kind of like a pre-check before I drive. So green lets me know that it's open, maybe I'm parked, I'm just able to use it. Red, as you can see, locks it, and I know it's not going anywhere. And all of these are all the exact same. Here, I have more storage down here. And then last but not least, this is where my toilet goes. Down there is my heater. This is where the hot air comes out, and this is where the clean air or cold air goes in. So here I have the exhaust that comes out of the S-bar. Here's the air vent. And what I used to do when I use this a lot is actually use air filters and kind of fit it in here so that it just kind of keeps the whole thing a little bit cleaner. In case you ever need to go do maintenance to your S-bar, you can take this drawer out right here, and if you look, I cut out a hole where you're able to get in there and take your S-bar out, and I've done that already once, so I know it works. Just a quick tip as far as like your S-bar heater. When it comes to your yearly cleaning of the atomizer, if you do that, I found that it was very difficult when people say to use like a cotter pin puller in that 90-degree end to pull it out, and that you'll break the atomizer. So what I ended up doing was just taking a fork, making it very thin and bending the top, and I was able to pull the atomizer out without busting it at all. Alright, so this is the sleeping area. This is my bed. It's a pretty thick sized bed. It's like 15 inches. Wouldn't recommend that. I kind of got stuck buying my first bed at the store, and what a ripoff that was, so never do that, and I learned my lesson there. And then above the bed I have storage going along each side. 4 cubbies here, and then 3 cubbies back here. In this van I have 2 max air fans, one in the back and one in the front. So when it comes to cooking in the van, one thing that I like to do is go ahead and open up this vent here. Maybe I'm also in the city, I really don't need it open that much, and then cover it the rest of the way. And I would have my back fan off, and I'd be able to cook, turn this fan on exhaust, and I'd be able to draw the air just from this little gap over the food, taking all of the propane and moisture directly outside of the vehicle. So nighttime, you can kind of bring these curtains down right here. And the nice thing about this is you really can't see that somebody's in this van at night with the Reflectix up in the window in front, bringing the curtains down. All of my windows have the foil in them, including the back ones, and really no light escapes out of this at night, and it's very, very hard to tell that somebody's in here. So I've got my lights, also lights here, as well as my water pump, 12-volt chargers on each side here. And down below I got a ProWatt sine inverter, 2000 watts. If I just click this button here, my AC now becomes active, and I'm able to use this. I did a lot of slow cooking with an Instapot in here, one of the smaller Instapots. I was able to use it every night during winter, as well as run my heat and my TV pretty comfortably. So starting off, up top, I got 3 150 watt solar panels. Those come down to my batteries here, my LifeProof batteries, both 6 volts, 300 amps, and together they make 12 volts, going into my inverter here, and then the inverter goes up to the top. Everything's fused up, and then if you come on this side here, I have 2 additional boxes. One is powering only my refrigerator and my heater, and the other is powering everything else. So maybe if I want to leave for a little while and I want my heater and refrigerator definitely to go, but I want to save on energy draw, I can go ahead and turn this guy here, and if you look up, the lights just turned off. Everything just turned off except for my refrigerator and heater. So now we're at the back of the van. The back of the van is just where I have some more storage. I got my ladder to get onto the roof. This is where I keep my propane. Wanted to keep it outside of the vehicle. This hinge swings away. And that gives us access to the back of the vehicle. Also back here, I have my safe bolted in, and underneath next to the red switch where you see the green dot, that's my propane detector. The black line running through goes straight to the heater. Along with the flooring, the vinyl flooring, when it gets a little closer to the edge here, I ended up putting more of this mat down like I do have in the front, and a little kick bar just to kind of keep everything nice. So what I have up top is the Allure rack with the 3 solar panels from Zamp. If you look closely, every single bolt has torque stripe on it. It's the orange stuff up there. That's just a kind of visual indication to let me know when bolts, if they might be coming loose, are. Everything up there has it, so it's just easy for quick inspections. CVT awning also has LEDs on it for lighting at night. And then kind of coming around towards the front, we also have a snowboard wind guard that I decided to put up there. Alright, so this build took me completely about 2.5–3 months, and some tips that I would give is just pre-plan everything before you go and start building. Pre-plan how you're going to run your wires, because if you go ahead and put your walls up and your wires aren't in, it kind of sucks. So just make sure that you pre-plan everything. I use like some free program online to kind of like build everything. It wasn't AutoCAD, it's too hard to use. Just some easy program, and also keep your manuals, all of them, just in case, because you never know if you ever need them. Thanks for coming checking out my van. The van is actually going to be put up for sale. Link in the description if you're interested. And if you have any questions about building vans, I mean, I'm no professional, but I'm definitely willing to answer them. So if you do send me an email, in the title, if you could put questions so that I know the difference between who's trying to buy it and who just has questions. Thank you.